Yep.
What's she gonna do? Take pictures too?
Yeah,
No,
it's a
it's-
video. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at what you do.
Okay. So, how long have you lived in Mount Pleasant? Well, how long did you live in Mount
I
Pleasant?
didn't live in Mount Pleasant. I lived in
Oh.
Paoli.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but Paoli and Wayne, Paoli, Devon, Stratford, Wayne was all into this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any connections with Mount Pleasant?
Like what?
I'm not sure. All right. I don't know. Do you have a question?
Well, during the, what's it called, the school fight? Is that what it was
Yeah.
called? You were, I mean, you weren't very young.
Louder.
You weren't very young, but you were, I think, in
I think-
sixth grade.
I think I was about 10 or 11 because I was born 21, and this was 32, wasn't it?
Yeah.
31 or 32, so I must have been 12, right? If I was born 1921, and the school fight was 31. So I must have been 12.
Okay. And can you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, the thing of it is, I don't remember that much about it. You know what I mean? Being 12 years old and then being a child, you know, that all went over my head. It's just that I'm out of school, so fine, you know. And my parents weren't that educated that they would look into it to try and send me to another school someplace else. Now, for instance, Elsie Fuller, she was in, like, I think high school, but she had brothers that went to different East Town, and what they did, their mother sent the boys to Philadelphia to go to school. They came back home on a weekend, and of course she wasn't in with. It was only the grade school. It had nothing to do with high school, and so I don't remember too much really about it. I just knew I wasn't going to school. That's all. And then the NAACP, you know, which was in with the thing that they weren't going to have that. They weren't going to have the white children and the black ones going one place and white ones going another. But then we didn't know that. My dad didn't know it either. And my brother and I, which he's passed away now, has we kept going to school until one day Mr. Crosby, I guess his name was, came and to my dad's house where we lived in Paoli on Minor Avenue, and he came and said, "Where are your kids?" And he said, "They're in school." And he said, "Well, you come on, go with me. We're going to get them out of school because they have no business there." Because we were going where they were sending all the blacks, and I guess all of the rest of the families that had children also went and got their kids. And he just came to the door, opened the door. And of course, you know, if you see a door open, you're going to look around. And we looked around, and he just beckoned for us to come on out. And so we came out because, you know, when I think back over it, it must have been more than one grade in a room, too, because my brother and I both came out of the same room, and he was older than me, so he shouldn't have been in the same grade.
Right.
It could have been that he, no, because he was like I think 3 years older than me, so he would, you know, he wouldn't be in the same room, and he went home. So then they had him arrested because he wouldn't send us back to school. So they had him arrested. So he went to jail, and he stayed for 5 days. He stayed for 5 days in jail, and the NAACP went and got him out, you know, on bail, whatever. You know, I'm little and I'm 12,
Yeah.
and I'm not that interested in what's going on, you know, like in the public and stuff. And then from then on, we didn't go to school. Then I didn't go to school for 2 years.
Wow. And then when you went to school after the 2 years, when you went back to school, what was it like?
It wasn't, you know, by then, I guess I had realized what age I was, and everything. And here I am. I've missed 2 years of school, which I must have been in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 by, seventh grade, going up into third. So I realized that, we were going to school every day. I couldn't catch up. And we were very, very poor when I came up. I mean, really poor. Because my dad was an alcoholic, and he just drank all the time. Even when he worked, if he got money, he wouldn't buy food for us. He just, drank it up and all like that. So back then, they didn't care if you went to school or not, and especially if you were black. And so I quit school when I got to be to seventh grade. I wasn't catching up because they're not going to put me in seventh grade because I missed 2 years of school. I guess they said it's not their fault. So I thought, I'm not going to catch up, so I'm just going to quit school and just go work someplace. And that's what I did.
And where did you start working?
Well, there was a lady that just lived right down the street from me. That her name was Miss Molly. And I used to go work for her. I go scrub the basement floor on my hands and knees, which was stupid. If somebody asked me to do that now, I asked them if they were crazy. No, that's brutal work, you see. Yeah. But I didn't realize it because to me it was something, and then she paid me, I think, 25 cents.
Do you think it was harder for you to find a job because you were black and...
No, that part didn't have anything to do with it. I had no trouble finding a job. In fact, every time I had one, I only did like days work anyway until I was like 50-something years old. All of my kids were grown and married and gone before I went to work in a factory for Burroughs. Had a factory down there on Sweetsville Road. The Burroughs factory was there, and I went to work there. But otherwise, I just did days work, and everybody was as good to me as gold. They just really, I can't remember anybody I ever worked for that was mean or showed that they were prejudiced or anything else, their children or nothing. In other words, when I worked there, I ruled the house for the day. They were very nice to me. I've never had a problem with people working or nothing like that.
Good. Or
not even treating me different, even up to this day. I'm very liked by everybody, and for them to segregate and do things like they did back then didn't make sense to me, because I didn't raise my children to be, prejudiced towards them or even told. I never even tell them about my life until this came up. My daughter often say, well, Mom, why didn't you ever tell us? But I figured, why should I burden my children with something that happened to me in my life that I didn't approve of and I didn't make it happen? But just don't hang in that same pocket. Just keep going, So that's what my daughter that you just saw was the first black nurse that ever graduated from Bryn Mawr Hospital.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah, and then my second son, he owns a barber shop, and he's a barber. And then my third son, but my second and third son, they both went in the service too. They were in service. And my third one, he worked for Bell Telephone for about, I think, 35 years, And my other daughter worked for Bell Telephone before her. And my last son, he started out doing photography, but then he quit it, and he just didn't work. But it didn't hold back any of my kids. And if they had jobs that, if the people wasn't treating them right, well, the only one did was my older daughter, that she had a problem with a lady, but I called her up and told her, she don't be treating my daughter like that. She had did some ironing for her, and she had charged her $15. Well, I told her She had shirts, she had sheets, you know, because back then you orange your sheets and pillowcases and things. And she had shirts which were a top priority back then. You did laundry, you did shirts and things out. If you could do a shirt, that was really good, and you got paid more for that. And so what she did, she came and picked up her laundry, and she just gave my daughter the money folded up, which I taught them never take money from anybody that's folded up. I don't even care if it's from your mom. If she owes you, if she says, here's your $5, open it up and see if it's 5. You know, well, she didn't. So when the lady left with the laundry, she called me up and told me that the lady didn't give her as much money as she, you know, was supposed to give her. So she said, I said, well, how much did she give you? She said she gave me $4. So I said, okay, I'll call her. So she gave me the lady's number and all that. I called her, and when I called her, I told her, I said, I'm Jean Cunningham's mother. And she hung the phone up on me.
Oh my God.
So I waited a little bit, and I called her again. I said, it's Jean Cunningham's mother, and don't hang up because I know where you live, because I work next door. It was on Hunter's Lane in Devon, and I will come to your door. I said, so she said, oh no, I had to go to the bathroom, the reason I hung up the phone. I said, well, you could have told me, you know, you had to go to the bathroom, not just hang up in my face. And I told her, I said, I'd give you exactly 2 hours to get that money back up there to my door. So she did. She took it up. She didn't give it to her. She stuck it in her mailbox, and all. But see, those kind of things, like if my parents were maybe more aggressive than like I am towards us, the children, maybe I would have really gone on back to school, you know. And who knows who I would have turned out to be, you know. But then, well, I guess my dad didn't care if I went to school or not. And of course, now if you don't go to school, if you're underage, they come and find out about it, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what happened then to my, you know, as far as my family goes.
So you definitely taught all your kids about how to treat people equally and how to be treated equally.
Exactly.
Did you learn those values from your parents, or what?
No, I learned them on my own.
On your own?
Yeah, I learned them on my own. And I've always been the person that went to church, you know, and you learn and you pray, and God teaches you and lets you know what you need to know. He says that we have not because we ask not. If you ask for wisdom and more understanding from God, then you get it. So I guess that's where I got it. In fact, I know that's where I got it.
Good.
You know? But I never taught my kids to be prejudiced or anything. If you mention my daughter's name, Pat Cunningham, Patricia, to any doctor that's still living, that said that she was the best nurse ever hit the floor. Really, she was head nurse at the Paoli Hospital for 8 or 10 years. I don't know how long.
Wow.
When the very first opened, you know. So I never ever taught my kids to be prejudiced.
Yeah.
Mom, are you